I was like, wait, what? And then when I moved to Korea 7 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I was really floored because I heard about. Welcome, beautiful people, to the Lost and Local podcast. We're Adam
And Hannah.
Two Korean citizens who grew up abroad and are now just figuring out life.
Join us as we share stories and our honest perspective on what it means to be lost and local.
All right, Hannah. Well, it was a solo podcast last week. So hopefully that podcast ended up doing well. But I'm sure everyone missed you. So it's good to have you back.
It's good to be back. How was it for you, Adam? Feeling alone.
It was lonely not having you. But I got to go.
You seem very passionate, though.
Oh, yeah. Did you get to see it? I got to go on a little bit of a tech rant. So it's good that Hannah wasn't here because I might have brought her down. But yeah, it was lonely just recording myself. So, but I guess being an introvert, I was used to being on my own. But any highlights since we've last seen you? I guess it's been a couple of weeks since our audience has seen you.
Isn't it only 2 weeks?
I think so. Yeah. Oh, 3 weeks. Oh, well, we did have Emily on the podcast.
Yeah.
So it's been actually 3 weeks since we did a podcast with you in India and me here in Korea.
No, only. Oh, is it 3 weeks?
Yeah, it's been 3 weeks.
Not 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, for our listeners.
I see. No, it's not going well.
Oh.
Yeah, so I need to reflect a little, and then I can share. But
Okay.
the honeymoon period is over. It's very,
Oh,
very, very short-lived. I am entering into. I've almost been here for 2 months,
Okay.
and it's crashing and burning. So if anyone recently moved and you're crashing and burning by month 2, same.
Okay. Well, Oh man. Well, we're all cheering for you here on the Lost and Local podcast with our 146 subscribers.
Thanks.
You know,
How was your week? Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, when you really think about it, if we had 146 of our subscribers in the same room listening to our podcast, that's a lot of people. It seems small, but when you think about it, it's a lot of people.
I mean, it's all relative, right? To me, that seems like a lot of people. Like, between the two of us, we have 146 people who want to tune in and listen to our updates every week. Like, that seems like a lot to me. But I know as a seasoned YouTuber, Adam, that sounds like a smaller number to you.
As we speak, I'm at 2061 on my channel. But I didn't take care of it for the last year, so I probably should be at least at 3,000 to 4,000. But it's all good. Anyways, for me, this week has been a lot better. Last Sunday, 2 weeks ago, I had to preach for Ark Church. So that was a really crazy week. And then this past week, I had to do a video production for a camera company. So now that the 2 huge responsibilities are done, I am feeling a lot less stressed.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. But my wife and I were getting ready to head over to the States, which is, I've been so busy, I haven't even mentally been able to think about the fact that I'm going to the States soon. So, but yeah, my week has not been as hard as yours, but but hopefully, our podcast will, getting a little bit of sidetracked and just catching up with you will brighten your spirits.
Yeah, definitely. It's always a blessing to talk to you.
Yeah, indeed. I concur. Anyway, so today we have an interesting topic. We're going to be talking about something that's kind of, it's It's been around for a minute, but it's a topic that I think a lot of us find interesting. So, we are going to be talking about the 5 love languages, and I think they resonate for a lot of people even to this day. Because, of
Mm,
course, there's a lot of different ways we can show our love, but they kind of break it down to 5 main categories. And I know a lot of us are familiar with it, but before we go into our podcast, I thought I would at least give a quick summary, and I'll probably put it up on the screen too. So the 5 love languages are basically words of affirmation. It can be either spoken or written, and then also quality time, just carving out time to spend with a loved one. Physical touch, which is not the bad physical touch, but the physical touch like hugging and just being near people. Acts of service, which is big. That's, I think, a big one, especially in Asian cultures. And then receiving gifts. So
mm,
those are the main 5 love languages. And in light of that,
mhm.
we do have a icebreaker. So Hannah, why don't you give us the icebreaker and start us off?
Okay. So, Adam, what is the hardest love language to give, and what's the easiest to receive?
Oh, okay. So I guess I'll start us off.
Mm,
The hardest to give, I thought a lot about this, and I think honestly, it's time. So yeah, time is tough because personally for me, I'm an introvert. So spending
mhm.
extra time outside of myself is a big ask. And then I also, if I have extra time, this is probably showing the selfish side of me, but if I have any extra time, I'd rather spend it with my wife.
Mm,
So yeah, spending time, if I carve out time for people, that means I'm really showing my love. But that is hard to give. I don't mind doing it, but it's hard. And then the
no.
easiest to receive, I think,
Mm,
honestly, even though I don't publicly let people know my birthday, and which I'll still keep on the DL, but I actually don't mind receiving gifts. Yeah, when it comes to my birthday, because I'm adopted and we don't know my actual birthday,
I see.
I'll tell my wife, okay, babe, for the whole week we should celebrate my birthday because we actually don't know what day it actually fell on.
Mm.
So I like to give excuses to receive more gifts. But yeah, that's my hardest and easiest love language. How about you, Hannah?
Wait, but Adam, how can I give you a gift if you don't tell me when your birthday is?
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of an oxymoron to enjoy giving gifts, but not letting anyone know what my birthday is.
Yeah. Also, I didn't know that the hardest love language for you is time because
Mm.
I feel like when I was in Korea, I was spending so much time with you and Hyojin.
Oh,
And then later on, you were sharing like, "Oh, yeah, like, when people ask to meet me, it's not, like, my favorite thing to do because I have these rhythms, I have Hyojin." Like, during COVID, I was actually doing great. It was just me
yeah.
and my wife, and we were doing great. And so, I was like, "Wow, that's, like, so shocking to me because I basically saw you, like, 4 times a week."
Okay, that is also another oxymoron because um I obviously I don't really see you as a friend. I see you more as family. So
Mm.
it's that's different. Like you're in a different category.
Mhm.
There's a few people in my life that are in a
Aw.
different category that actually aren't my
Yeah.
family, and you're definitely one of them. So it wasn't a like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to spend time with Hannah again.
Ah,
So it wasn't like
she's here again.
that. But yeah, anyways, how about you? What's the hardest and easiest love language for you?
So the hardest to give for me is actually words of affirmation. And I
Mm,
think people are surprised to hear that because as a teacher, you think like you're like warm and nurturing. And I try to be like, I try to be relatable. I try to be um, like friendly and all of that. But when I grade people's like work, I'm so zoned in on like, I need to give them feedback. What can they improve on? And it's kind of like my East Asianness coming out.
oh
And like
yeah.
I don't really like praise them for what they're doing well, and I'm always focused on like, "You could do this better, you could do this better." And then my students will be like, did I not do anything right? And I'm like, no, 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 you did. Like
Oh, that makes
the places where I
sense.
didn't say
Yeah.
anything, you did great. And they're like, oh, like, but it would have been nice if you could have told us. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I do make a conscious effort to point out the things that they're doing well
Mm.
because I'm noticing like it's hard for me to do those things. Also, when like in Korean, it's called pinmal, and it's just you're just like being courteous. And even though you don't really believe the things you're saying, you just say it to be polite or like nice.
Mm.
So I think in American culture, there's like a high value for that kind of thing. But in Korean culture, it's seen as sort of empty. Like,
Oh,
why are you like if something's on my face, why are you like, oh, you look great today? Why aren't
okay.
you giving me actually honest feedback? So that part too. If someone's like, do I look good in this? And I don't think they look good, I'll be like, oh don't say anything.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Wow. That's interesting. It it's hard for you to give words of affirmation as a in your profession, but does that correlate with family and personal relationships as well?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
Okay.
very much. So back to the like the pinmal. So if I truly, truly care for someone, I think actually the hardest thing is to tell them the truth.
Even if it's
And
positive?
I mean, like positive is easy, but
Oh.
like if I'm a really, really good friend, I'm
Mm.
gonna give you real talk. Like I'm not gonna
Oh.
sugarcoat it. So
Oh.
it does appear in my like friendships too. And all of my close friends are also kind of like me. They don't appreciate just empty flattery and they're just kind of like,
Mm.
give it to me real. I really want to know. And you're the person I can trust and like I can trust that you're gonna actually give me a valid opinion.
Mm.
So
Okay.
I see it in my other relationships too. And this is not to say that I'm like a mean person, but I'm just I it's I if I like intentionally write a note to someone or like really want to encourage them, I can.
Oh.
It just takes much more effort and it doesn't come as naturally.
Mm. All right. So note to
Yeah.
self, if I get a compliment from you, that's big.
It is. It is very big. And then the easiest to receive
Mm.
for me is quality time.
Mm.
I love spending time with people. I'm not an introvert like Adam. And so when someone's like, "Let's hang out," I'll be like, "Yay." I don't like impromptu things though. I don't like it when
Oh.
someone's like, "I'm in your neighborhood. Do you want to hang out?" I'm like, "No."
Oh.
Like
Oh.
set an appointment with me. Like tell me that you're going to
Okay.
be in my neighborhood like a day before because I'm a very like I'm a planner. So I plan my breaks. And
Mm.
if you are in the area while I'm supposed to be doing work, I'll not be happy. I'll be very very angry. But other than that, just
Oh.
like I can do a whole day with someone. Like I love studying with people. Quality time is the way to
Oh.
my heart.
Okay. Wow. So those are good things to know as we move forward with Hannah. Okay. Well, that was really fun. So as an
Mm,
intro, and I think it'd be, Hannah was the one that brainstormed this idea for our podcast. And I think it relates really well with the idea of different cultures with love languages. And I mean, I've only experienced the US and Korea, but Hannah's experienced China, US, Korea, and now India. So I'm sure you come with a bit more of a broader perspective.
I'll try.
So I guess the first thing we thought about in terms of bringing up this idea is we have kind of like three main things we wanted to talk about with five love languages. And so the
Mm.
first one that Hannah came across is what counts as love in one culture might be seen as awkward or rude in another. So let's hash this out a little bit.
Mm.
You have any thoughts just right off the top of the noggin?
Yeah, and we can definitely unpack this as we go.
Mm.
But right now, what's on my mind is we just had Teacher Appreciation Day yesterday.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, and in India, it apparently is a huge thing. Like There was no school for some of the public schools. For other schools, they called all of their teachers, like retired teachers, to come in and be celebrated. There was a whole there's a fancy sort of high tea planned for all the teachers at my school after work. And there was like live music, a lot of food, like we got gifts. Just it was like such a huge celebration. And in the States, maybe for elementary teachers, like you get that much love and appreciation, but for high school, I would have to tell people it's teacher week. Like, and I would get some like email from an admin being like, thank you, we appreciate you. And none of the kids would do anything. Like nothing, no feedback. And I think from that, like, and this might sound a little weird, but I think in a lot of East Asian cultures, love is seen as respect. Like I show my love for you as my teacher by respecting you and like thanking you for the things that you've done and showing appreciation. But I think in the States, respect doesn't always have a positive connotation. It sometimes feels a little indifferent. Like, and so I remember when I first went to the States for college, or I returned to the States after a huge long hiatus, like a 10-year gap. I was so weirded out that my professors wanted me to call them by their first name. And they're like, don't call me Dr. something something, call me Janice. And I was like, I can't. Like, I would never be able to call you Janice. Like, please,
in grad school, they said that? They asked that?
So, wait, say that again?
Was this in university or grad school?
In college.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised the professors wanted to be approached that way.
Wait, isn't that an American thing?
Well, maybe it's just because I'm older than you. Because all the professors when I was in university never wanted to be called by a first name basis.
Oh, really?
But then again,
maybe it could also be a Boston thing.
I think it's also more generation.
Generation. It could also be like East Coast is a little more like we want to be equal. I'm not here to impart knowledge on you. You are here to like search with me.
East Coast is more stodgy.
Wait, what did you say?
Stodgy. I thought East Coast professors would be more stodgy and by the book.
No, they're very liberal.
Oh, that's really interesting. Okay. I mean, there is a 20-year gap between Hannah and I, to be fair. So we have quite a generation gap.
Yeah. But I mean, that was on the top of my head. The concept of respect and how in the States, if I kept calling my professor Dr. someone, when they explicitly said, please call me Janice, like, and I'm like, I'm trying to respect you. And they're like, well, like, I don't want to be called Dr. someone. So that's just what I was thinking.
Oh, interesting. Wow. Yeah. And it seems like, at least in my very small experience of Indian culture, Indians tend to be more celebratory on things.
Oh, yeah. I'm speaking like I'm an expert. I'm not expert. I've only been here 2 months. So this is just my observation. But even in the 2 months that I've been here, there's been 3 huge celebrations already.
Wow.
Every time there's a celebration, like all the family members gather. And when I ask my students, I'm like, how many cousins do you have? They're like, I have like 30, 40 cousins. And I'm like, how is that possible? Like, do your aunts and uncles have like 6 kids each? Like what's going on? And they're like, oh no, my grandparents have siblings. So they don't even have they're not thinking of them as like a cousin twice removed or whatever that lingo is. Okay. They're just like, these are all my cousins. I'm regularly meeting up with them like once a month or even maybe more frequently. Oh, wow. So I was like, oh, that's a really amazing aspect of culture, because now in Korea, this was like a sad awakening for me, because in high school, my whole family would still gather at my grandma's house. And we would eat and we would play games and we watch TV together. And when I was a high schooler, I hated it. I was like, I want to be alone. Like I'm a moody teenager. Let me just be in my room. I just want to like text my friends. I don't want to be with these people. And now that I'm 32, I'm like, hey cousin, like what are you up to? And I want to talk to them. But like my cousins who are married, they're meeting their in-laws, or now that they have kids, they're doing their own separate chuseoks at their house. Or My younger cousins are now making money, so they go on vacation because it's like a 5-day holiday. And so now it's like a group of 4 or 5 people instead of a group of like 25.
Oh.
So yeah, I don't know how I got to this topic, but I am noticing like Korea is starting to kind of fall into like nuclear family structures instead of extended big families, while India is still holding on to the extended family idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I think when it comes to love in one culture as seen awkward or rude, I would say like, at least from my experience, and maybe it's changing in Korea. I've only been in Korea for 7 years, so I still feel like I'm not an expert by any categorical means. So I don't, try to profess I am, but I feel like in the westernized states, or at least in the US, we're like saying I love you is, at least for healthy families, is pretty common. Like love you or I love you. And
Yeah.
but I think in Korea, and maybe you could correct me if I'm wrong, but it's something I think a lot of parents will ask their kids, even if they're adults, is 밥 먹었어 or like 아침 먹었어? Like,
Yeah.
oh, did you
Yeah.
eat? And that just is almost like the substitution of I love you. Or is it?
Yeah, there's a whole thread of like what my Asian parents do instead of saying I love you. Like they like cut fruit for you when you're studying, or you say, "Oh, I like that snack," and then they go to Costco and buy a whole like 24
I
pack
feel
of
like you're talking
the
from
one thing you
experience.
said you liked. Yeah. It's very true. Even in my own family, like I would say my parents are more, I don't want to say westernized, more globalized. They basically spent half of their life outside of Korea and half of their life in Korea. And yet they have a hard time saying 사랑해 to me. And they actually say I love you. Like in English, they'll like switch over to English and say I love you, bye, and then they'll switch back to Korean and be like 잘자, and then we like hang up. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if because they didn't grow up hearing that from their parents, they just can't comprehend 사랑해 being representing how they feel towards me. And they need a separate language to actually express that to me.
Oh. I mean, well, credit your parents that they actually do say it in English, though, because it's probably easier for them because it wasn't as, not a stigma, but yeah, that makes sense. But it's cool that they say I love you. That's great.
Yeah, but when my friends say it to me, it like catches me off guard. and these are friends I do love. I do love dearly, and they hold such a special place in my heart. We don't have to catch up every single day, and like I'll talk to them maybe like once in a blue moon, and still I feel really connected to them. And yet when they like hang up and they're like, "Okay, bye, Hannah, I love you," I'm just like, thanks,
Yeah.
bye.
I've noticed that with you.
Yeah. But what about you, Adam? What have you felt like is awkward, or maybe you've done something and you're like, oh, the other person feels awkward?
There's a little bit of difference, but maybe we can expound on that later. But for me, being westernized and just naturally being like a toucher, like not as in bad, but I like to be affectionate, right? So I like to hug people. A toucher. But
That
like
sounds so wrong.
I like to hug people, right? Even if I meet a person for the first time, I like to hug them. It's weird. Yeah. So, but westernized people, especially from the States, are much more open to physical affection in that way. Where when I started working in Korean churches, I realized that me being affectionate to the students was sometimes frowned upon. And then what would happen is actually we got to a point where all the kids would hug each other when they would see each other, because they kind of fed off of my affection. And so like that's how they showed affection in the youth group. Everyone would hug each other. And we actually had some parents of the youth group, this was back in the day, but they were like, we're concerned about the physical affection in the youth group, because they just weren't, it wasn't something that they were used to. And it was something that I was surprised by, like, oh, I guess that's not I mean, we're in America, but this is a Korean church. And I didn't realize that that was going to be like an awkward or a semi-controversial thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even within the US, there are variations, right? Like in
Mm.
Boston, people are just not huggers.
Yeah. And
Not
maybe
really.
West Coast or maybe the South, they're more affectionate. But
Yeah.
the Midwest, they're not really huggers either, now that I think about it.
Mm.
But yeah, I think it's even within the states because I grew up in the Midwest, lived in the Northwest, and lived in the Southwest. And there are differences within those three regions because the
Mhm.
States is such a huge country.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I like it when like so I get along with California or like West Coasters really
Oh,
well because they're so affectionate. They like initiate a hug and like after you like give someone a hug, it just feels like you're closer, right? Like, oh, we've like gotten through one wall
yeah.
of like we're not strangers anymore. And but with like East Coast people, you're both kind of like inching and then you're like, do we hug? How come no one's initiating? Okay, bye. We just part ways.
What's funny for me is I think for guys don't like to hug guys. They more like to dap each other up like that,
Oh
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
special handshakes and all looking
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But because I don't really even know how to do that because I'm not
Mhm.
cool, even with the guys at church, they'll try to like do the normal like dap up or whatever, but I'll just go in for
Yeah.
a hug and they're like, oh, okay.
Oh, they're like this, and
they're
then
like,
you
oh,
like go
oh, yeah,
over.
yeah, yeah. They're like, oh, okay, I guess I got to do that. But I'm like, dude, I'm an old
So
man. I don't
funny.
care, But,
Has anyone like rejected your hug?
not rejected, but more like stiff. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, like like oh, okay, I won't go in for a hug. But
Oh,
usually,
I see. I
like for
see.
example, there were a few people at our. We had a lot of new people at our church last Sunday, and
Ooh.
yeah, a lot. Two of the girls that I got to know that they're both 24 years old, but I went in for hugs, and they were totally fine. But it was because like we built up a really good rapport. So
Mhm.
I try to gauge it, like
Yeah.
if the girls are like not just girls, it can be guys too. But if a person's not responding well to me, then I'll try to make the right assessment. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on to the next topic is have
Mm.
you ever misread someone's love because you expected a different love language?
Eehee, this is hard. Like you made some notes and it said like for immigrant families, fathers show love by working hard. And I agree. Like
Oh,
and it's not just East Asian immigrant families. I think it's consistent throughout.
okay.
Like from like I've talked to kids from the DR or from Eritrea and just like various countries and they say the same things. Their fathers are stoic and they don't really express anything and they're like, I clothed you and I fed you. What else do you expect from me?
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, is that love or is that just the bare minimum? And I think I
Mm.
wrestle with that a little bit and what my parents, especially my dad, has done for me.
Mm.
But if you chose to have kids, like, shouldn't you, isn't it the bare minimum to clothe them and feed them? Like, is that really love?
Oh.
But then I guess there is a spectrum of like, they didn't have to, but then they gave birth to you. So like you do have a responsibility. I don't know. And maybe this is like my Western upbringing, my
Oh,
Western education, like
yeah.
a lot like that joke where Asian immigrant parents will like hit their kids for as a form of discipline, but like the white parents won't. And then all these comedians make fun of white parents and also that like I grew up I grew up with physical punishment and that was like a form of love.
Oh no.
And in some ways it was like I am the person I am now
Do not
because
spare
I
the
was
rod.
disciplined
Yeah.
and and there were consequences. But
Mm.
also sometimes I felt like if they had just explained what was going on, I wouldn't have had to get hit.
Mm.
And then there was no miscommunication, or there was miscommunication, or there was a lack of communication, even. So, yeah,
Oh,
it's iffy. It's murky. What are you
yeah.
thinking?
Well, to mention first off the fathers showing love by working hard, I think because maybe there's such a low bar because of, the idea of deadbeat dads and fathers who leave the family early, they get divorced, they don't really give child support. And the fathers that actually stay married to the wife and work hard, they're like, dude, look at me. Like I'm a superstar.
Wow, the bar is so low.
That's what I mean. That's honestly where I see a lot of fathers. They see the low bar and they're like, well, I've exceeded that. So, I mean, what more can you ask of me? So I think that is part of the reason why they pat themselves on the back already, because they're better than half their competition.
Yeah.
But I think it is natural for men, especially whether it's people from the States or people from an Asian culture or elsewhere. It's just harder for men to be more open to showing affection. So I think that is just the challenge. And people that do work really hard, I think it is coming from a right place, right? Because I mean, especially like the people who never see their father because their father is working late hours, assuming he's not cheating on the family, but he's working late hours, he's toiling away, and he's like, I just want to give my kid the best opportunity to go to university. I don't want them to have to take out school loans. I'm working really hard. And I feel like that can be very endearing. And then
it's hard.
And then the second thing that you mentioned about the whole the biblical concept of don't spare the rod, and when it comes to disciplining children. I talked with my wife Yojin, and she didn't grow up with the father, so her father never was. I mean, her father passed when she was a baby, but her mom did spank her when she got in trouble, and I never got spanked.
We did have this conversation. But okay, for context, Adam is the youngest. So I think he got away with way more than his older siblings.
That's a good question. That's a good thought, because I'm going to meet up with my older siblings in less than a month. I should ask them if they were spanked.
Please do.
Now they're going to be like, I know at least a couple of them listen to the podcast are going to be like, dude, Adam got away with so much.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Wow. Okay. No shade on my dearest mom, who I love. But when I was younger and we would get in maybe a disagreement or a fight or whatever. And sometimes in my thought, I was thinking, it would be nice if I heard an apology. Right. But I think her best way of showing that, hey, I acknowledge that we both probably were in the wrong. She would, I don't know, come back from school or something, and then there would be like a gift on my pillow.
Oh,
it was almost like a truce gift. Like, hey, I'm trying to make things better. And I realized this is her form of showing love. And it might not have been like the way I wanted it at that particular time in my life. I couldn't help but know that, okay, she's making the effort. So, love languages are very tricky. And I think there's a lot of nuances to it.
Yeah.
But even though we want a particular loved one to express a different way, I think we also have to remember to be gracious in the way that they're able to give it.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, Adam, I think that's so mature. I mean, you are mature. That's so mature of you. Because I'm sure this happened when you were living with her, which is when you were younger.
Yeah.
But I'm the opposite. My dad's like that too. I think he said sorry maybe twice in my entire life. I can count. I can visibly remember the times that he's apologized, and I was so taken aback because it's not the norm. And he also tries to either through acts of service or gifts express that he's sorry, but that would just anger me more. I would go yell, or I would give him the cold shoulder, and I heard it's called stonewalling. It's not a very productive
all these new terms
response. I would just be like, no, you're trying to avoid what's going on here. Just own up, please, just own up to it. And I think I've overcompensated when I see my relationship with like my students or my friends,
Oh.
I'm always like, hey, I just wanted to talk about this thing. And I really
Oh.
apologize if you felt this way. That was not my intention, but
Oh.
if it affected you that way, I just wanted to explain that like this is why I was doing that. And I can't promise that I'll change because like
Mm.
we are different people, but I just hope that you understand this is why I say the things and do the things I do.
Oh.
And I like kind of overly express.
Mm.
And sometimes my friends appreciate it, and other times they're like, now you've made it weird. Like I didn't think about that moment at all. And now you're making me hyper fixated
Mm.
on what happened. But yeah.
Mm. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And that will also come into play if, Lord willing, one day you get into a marriage. I think that'll
Lord
also
willing. Yeah, yes, yes.
because
Amen.
I'm one of those people who, when my wife and I get into a disagreement,
Mm.
my love language is to, hey, let's hash this out now. Let's not let the sun
Mm.
go down on our anger. So, and
Yeah.
early on in our marriage, that would frustrate her because she's like, no, I don't want to deal with it now. So I felt like, oh, you don't love me. Like you obviously
Oh.
you don't care about. And so, but I realized that she needed time to process. She needed
Mhm.
time to like heal in that way. And then eventually we were able to hash it out. But
Mhm.
now I try to be much more cognizant, like, okay, I just need to either it be a day or a couple days. And, but I won't put it under the rug. I'll still address
Mm.
it, but I won't try to fix it like I used to right away. But that was really difficult
Mm.
for me because I like you, like if there is tension, like I want to deal with it. But
I see.
yeah.
Wow. How long did it take you to figure that out? That Hyoji needed time.
Oh, pretty early on. Yeah. Because
Oh,
like,
good for you,
no,
Adam.
I'm early on in the sense that I knew right away I always wanted to deal with the issue, but I think she was more compliant at the beginning. Like, okay, I'll talk with him, but then because I'm a F and she's a
Mm.
T, which is I'm a
Mhm.
feeler and she's logical.
Mhm.
Sometimes because even though I came in with good intentions to make it right, my feelings were
Mhm.
too high, so I couldn't think
Mm.
logically. So I think she realized, yeah, Adam is way too like emotionally driven right now. So even if he
Mm.
thinks he's not emotionally driven, he is. So I was too stubborn to realize it at the time. I'm like, no, I'm
I
thinking very
see.
rational. I've stepped back to be objectively, thinking about it, but I was still
Yeah.
quite capital F.
Wait, that's so funny.
But I think honestly, I don't know. I think marrying someone opposite of a feeler. I mean, of course, every T does feel. So, but I think it was really good. I think it's good in a marriage not to have two capital Fs.
Mm.
I think, of course, it can work out. Of anything can
Yeah.
work out, but I think
It's
it makes
harder.
life a little bit easier if one is more logical than the other.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
both are logical, that's not good either.
Wait, but don't you think their arguments would be resolved so quickly?
Yeah, but everyone does have feelings. So I feel like those feelings will go on, they'll stay hidden. And then at some point, like the pressure in a bottle will just pop. I feel like,
Explode.
yeah,
I
I feel
see.
like there's a danger.
I see.
That's just my own assessment on that. But
Mm. Okay. Okay, Adam, our last question of the day is, do your own love languages shift depending on which country you're living in?
mm, I think
Mm.
now living here for 7 years in Korea, I do have to shift certain things in the way I do things. I mean, for example, when my rest in peace, my grandfather-in-law was alive, one of the things that came natural to me is to do acts of service for them. So I would
Mm.
like scrub their floor because it was dirty, or I would like
Wow.
do different things. I would like just help out and clean the house because I
Mm.
like to, so I was doing all that as acts of service. And then I
Mhm.
realized as time went on, while they received that as love from me. I actually shifted a little bit because maybe they're just more progressive as Koreans, but as we got closer to with each other,
Mhm.
I realized that I could actually show my affection through my physical touch more. So I started being a
Oh,
lot
like
more,
hugging them.
yeah, hugging them and like
Aw.
holding my grandmother's hand, like rubbing her back. And like I
Mhm.
realized like, oh, I can, because initially I was like, oh, they're Korean. So like they're not gonna be
Mm.
this way. So I'll show my love in other ways. But then I
Mm.
realized, oh, like, okay, I can do this, but it took time to morph into that. But
Yeah.
I don't know if that really answers the question, but yeah. One thing I noticed too
Mhm.
about the way that people show love.
Mhm.
So in America, when guys hang out with each other, we show love
Mm.
by like doing sports with each other. Like we'll play basketball, we'll play football, we'll do things and like we'll like high five or we'll dap each other up or like if you're in sports, you'll hit them on the butt like good job, man, good play and stuff like that, right? That's what
You
guys
can
do.
hit them on the butt, but you can't hug them.
Yeah, no hugging. Oh
That's
my gosh.
so weird because
No
your butt
hugging.
is more
Yeah.
private than giving a hug.
But when I started being part of the Korean church, I noticed that guys were way more affectionate with each
Yeah.
other. And it really kind of like, I was like, wait, what? And then when I
Mm.
moved to Korea 7 years ago, I
Mhm.
was really floored because I heard about the affection of males, like
Yeah.
Korean men. But then I remember just seeing 4 or 5 soldiers hanging out,
Mhm.
and like 3 of them were holding hands with each other. It was so weird. I was just
Adam, wait
like,
till you come to India.
oh, really? Are they pretty affectionate in that way?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's
Even
it's
more.
very endearing because they're platonic relationships. So it's not like
Yeah.
they're
In a
not outwardly
relationship.
in a relationship, but they're just
Yeah.
affectionate with each other. And it
Yeah.
really, really surprised me. And even though I see that as a thing, if someone would try to grab my hand today in Korea to
Yeah.
like at church, if they wanted to hold my hand as another guy, I would like pull my hand back. I'd be like, no thanks. Like I'm affectionate. I like to hug you, but I don't want to hold your hand.
That's so funny.
But yeah, that's one of the things I noticed with
Oh, so you don't shift.
and in that way I wouldn't shift.
I see. I
I
see.
mean,
Okay.
yeah, I don't think I would be able to shift in that way.
Yeah.
Because it's funny in Korea, PDA is like considered not like a great thing, like public displays of affection with the opposite gender. But if 2 girls are holding hands or 2 guys are holding hands, it's like no big deal.
Yeah. No big deal.
It's
Yeah.
funny.
Actually. Wow.
Anyway,
I wonder if I've shifted. I don't know.
oh,
Because right now I'm in the thick of adjusting to India, so I can't objectively observe myself.
Are
Not that I
you
could
are you
ever.
getting more affectionate by chance?
No,
Okay.
no, definitely not. Definitely not. I think I feel very stunted actually
Oh.
because I can't because I'm a huge acts of service person. I like being the know-it-all. That's why I became a teacher. I wanted to know what was going on before everyone else.
Oh,
But
really?
I
Okay, that
can't
makes
do that
sense.
here, right? I don't know what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
And even though I have taught for years, each school has a different culture and like
Mm,
what I think is a priority is not always the priority that other people think. Or for example, like my school has a homework policy
mm.
and I was like, oh, then that means I can't give out reading homework. But then someone was like, reading is not homework. I'm like, what do you mean? Reading is homework. Like it takes time to sit down and read and like understand. And they're like, no, no, no. Homework is like when you fill out something, like when you
Oh.
write something. Those things I think make me feel small. And
Oh.
even like words of affirmation, I I like
Mm.
can't really give words of affirmation because I don't know what's going on. And so I think I don't feel like my full self. And so I don't think I'm
Mm.
adopting new things. I think I'm just becoming a very like one-dimensional version of myself. And that's what's adding to the frustration.
Oh, because you're becoming just more aware of it, being in a different culture of that. I think it's just highlighting it more for you.
Or
No? Hmm.
I'm seeing how I can't fully be myself in this
Oh,
new environment.
okay.
Oh yeah, there are cultural things where we clash and ideas where we clash. Like my personal business is public knowledge, and I'm like very uncomfortable with that. And so there are cultural things. I used to be the person who like would bring gifts for Chuseok for my like coworkers, and they wouldn't know that it was Chuseok. But for me, it's like I want to celebrate Chuseok, so I will give you a small like goodie bag, and so I would like give it to my coworkers. But here, I don't even know where to buy these things,
Okay.
and so I can't express love in the way that I want to, or I don't know if what something someone did for me. Like for example, I was putting back the chairs after a meeting,
Okay.
and they're like, "Don't do that. There are workers who
Janitors
will
or
do
do
that
that?
for you." And so then I'm
Oh.
like, "Oh, that's their job." So they're not going out of their way to help me if I mean, I can still thank them, but it's like within their job description. It's not things like that. I'm just like, I don't even know where I should be thanking, or like where someone's going beyond,
Okay.
or where someone's actually just doing their job. And
Mm.
that is a lot.
Yeah, because you're in the thick of it now, just being 2 months, and
am.
you're still trying to figure out and learn how like the Indian culture expresses.
Adam, I thought my honeymoon stage would last longer. Why did it only last a month?
Oh, well, I mean, you did have a honeymoon stage though, so that's good.
Silver lining, it existed.
Oh man. But you know what? I think it's just a natural process of people who go abroad to work, right? It's probably like the 5 stages of grief. You're probably
Mhm.
in one of the stages, whatever, however they call it, you're in that second stage.
Probably depression.
And then
Stage one.
acceptance. Oh man. Yeah, this was a really fun exercise to think about in terms of
Yeah.
how we give and we receive love. I think the biggest thing for me moving forward is I have to be much more accepting of giving my time, because I think for
Mm.
Koreans that is something that they are, not just Koreans. I think just people in general,
Yeah.
maybe like you, who feel like they're being loved whenever you spend individual or small group time with
Mm.
them.
Mhm.
And I just have to be better in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're doing small groups again in the near future. So got to ramp up with that.
Wow, you're busy, Adam. You're busy, busy.
But I will have a 5 Sunday hiatus from church when I go back to the States.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
That's sad.
They'll miss you.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
Ark will
oh.
miss you.
Oh, it's good for all of us. I think it's good for them too. Too much of Adam is not a good thing.
No. They
But
they really benefit from you.
yeah. Well, yeah. Speaking of miss, yeah, we definitely miss you, Hannah.
I miss you too.
So I'm sure the subscribers were like, why is just Adam on here right now?
No, they
Maybe
love
all your
you.
friends like clicked off of it, like, oh, Hannah's up
No,
there.
they love you, Adam.
But yeah, this was fun. It was good to hopefully the technology held up, because I actually haven't edited everything, but I feel pretty confident that the technology is going to work. In the
Yeah.
meantime, you all, thank you so much for checking out the Lost and Local 24th weekly episode. That I feel like we're like a quarter away. I mean, wait, we're only a quarter away from a quarter of 100 episodes. So
Yay!
episodes.
Milestone. We gotta celebrate all milestones.
I mean, yeah, think about it. 24 episodes is like almost half a year.
I know.
That's impressive. Honestly,
It is.
I feel like that's really
I'm
impressive.
impressed with all the editing hours that you've spent.
Oh, I'm getting to be an expert at it now. It's
That's
like
amazing.
second nature. But
Okay.
yeah, this was fun, Hannah. Anyway, you
Likewise.
all, God bless. Please take care of yourself. Leave any comments down below if you want to correct us on something or you have your own thoughts or ideas on love languages. That would be really nice. If you've gotten this far and you're a real one, maybe put your favorite love language, and that way we know you listen to the end. But thank you for supporting us on podcasts as well as YouTube. In the meantime, you all, God bless. Peace.
Bye.